Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to cite a tweet in MLA and APA style. For this example, I'm going to get a tweet from President Obama's Twitter page. You can get all the information you need to cite a tweet from the tweet detail page, which you can get to by hovering over a tweet. I'm going to use this one right here and clicking on expand. You might not see the expand option if the tweet has media in it, like an image or a video, like these two tweets here. But if you don't see expand, just click on the tweet box to expand it, and that'll expand the box. And then you can click on details. Now that'll take you to the unique tweet page, and from here you can copy the tweet, which I'm going to do now. And note that you'll have to copy the entire tweet for both APA and MLA style. From here you can also copy the Twitter handle, which in this case is Barack Obama, the name, which in this case is Barack Obama, the date and the time here at the bottom. And you can also copy the unique tweet URL, which is different from the Twitter feed page URL, and you'll need the unique tweet URL for the APA references page. What you don't have to worry about is including page numbers, because tweets don't have page numbers. So let's take a look at how to use all this information, and let's start with in-text citation. I'm going to go to my sample MLA document here. For in-text citation in MLA, you simply need to provide the author's last name either in the text as you introduce the quote or in parentheses after the quote. So in my first example here, I write in September, President Obama, and then the tweet would go here where it says tweet goes here in my example. I'm going to paste the tweet that I copied using paste special. I'm going to select unformatted text, and that pastes my tweet. I don't have to do anything else, but you do have to include quotes, so the tweet has to be inside quotations, and the period goes after the quote and before the closing quotation mark. If I don't mention the author, like I have in this second example here, in September the president tweeted, so I would put my quote right here, my tweet. I'm going to go back and copy this tweet so I don't have to keep using paste special. I'm going to paste that here using Control V. And for this example, I do have to include Obama's last name in parentheses after the quote and before the period. So the period comes after the parenthetical entry. Now let's take a look at how to do the same thing in APA style. The American Psychological Association hasn't yet established strict guidelines for citing tweets, but on the APA blog, and let me go there actually to show you. Tweets, it's like the first thing that shows up when you write APA cites tweets in Google. On this blog page, Chelsea Lee provides guidelines which I think are pretty good. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to follow her lead. I'm going to go back to my document here. According to Lee, instead of writing the author's last name in parentheses, in APA style you write their Twitter handle followed by the year the quote was made. So if I do include the author's last name in the body of my text, I only have to include the date in parentheses like I have in this first example. I write in September, President Obama, and I follow that by the year in parentheses, tweeted, and so my tweet would go here inside quotation marks. I'm going to paste it with Control V, and it gives me that little space at the end. I'm not sure why. But the year, when you do mention the author's name in the body of your text, goes after the author's name, not after the tweet. So just keep that in mind for APA style. If you don't mention the author in the body of your text, so you might have something like in September, the president tweeted, and again, the tweet goes right here. Then you would include the Twitter handle, which is Barack Obama in my example, followed by a comma and the year inside parentheses, and the period goes after the parentheses, not after the quote. And that's pretty much it. Now let's look at the MLA Works Cited page and the APA references page. So the format for MLA is last name, comma, first name, followed by the Twitter handle in parentheses, followed by a period, and then the tweet inside quotation marks, and then followed by the date in the day, month, year format, followed by a comma, followed by the time, and then followed by the word tweet. So this is the format right here. What I have right here is the format. So how would it look in a real entry? So I'm going to just paste my tweet where the tweet belongs. So it would look like this: Obama, comma, Barack, and then the Twitter handle in parentheses, and then follow that by a period, then the tweet inside quotation marks, and then the date. Today's actually the 5th, so let me change that up. And then the time. Let me actually go get the real time here. It's actually 3:07 p.m. So I'm going to change that to 3:07. And then the word tweet followed by a period. And that's pretty much it for an entry in a works cited page. For an entry in an APA references page, the format is a little bit different. It goes Twitter handle followed by a period, followed by the year in parentheses, and it goes year, comma, month, and day, and then follow that by a period, and then the tweet without quotation marks, followed by the words Twitter post inside brackets, and then followed by a period, and then you write retrieved from, and you include the tweet URL. So an example would look like this: Barack Obama, which is his Twitter handle, followed by a period, followed by the date inside parentheses, just like you see here. Today's actually the 5th, so I'm going to change that. So it's a year, comma, month, day, and again by a period, followed by a period, and then the tweet goes here. So I'm going to paste my tweet, and that's followed by the words Twitter post inside brackets, and followed by a period, and then you write retrieved from, and here I would include the tweet URL. So I'm going to go back and get that. And remember that the tweet URL is different from the Twitter feed page URL. So I'm going to just Control V this URL here. That gives me a space. I'm not really sure why. So the last thing I want to point out is that for both MLA and APA style, you would have to include these entries with a hanging indent. And that means that the first line is flush left and subsequent lines are indented 1/2 inch. And you can do that in Writer. I'm going to bring up the styles and formatting window by pressing F11. I'm going to select both of these entries. I'm going to hold the Control key to select both these entries. And I'm going to use the hanging indent style, the hanging indent paragraph style. And I'm going to modify this style real quick to include a hanging indent. So the first, in the indent and spacing tab, I'm going to set the before text to 0.5 inches. And that's going to force the entire block of text to be indented 1/2 inch. And I'm going to make sure the first line is flush left by negating that indent with a negative 0.5 inch indent. And the last thing I want to point out is that if you're writing these papers for school, you would probably have the line spacing set to double. I'm going to leave it alone at single because this is just an example. Anyways, now I'm going to click OK. And that doesn't do anything because I haven't applied my hanging indent to these two pieces of text yet. So I'm going to double click on hanging indent to apply it. And that's it. And make sure that the first line is flush left and subsequent lines are indented 1/2 inch. And that's really all there is to citing tweets in MLA and APA style.